Hey, what's poppin', man? We're back. So today we're gonna be covering this. Okay. I hope you guys have been good, by the way. Today we're gonna cover this one. Number 6, storyline understanding. So storyline understanding number 1 is just about the operation of time frames. You guys know that. Storyline understanding 2, intraday setups. Okay, so you guys already know that there are 3 ways you can enter the trades. The first way is using MTF. So for example, prices is it's the highest risk way of entry. Price is just buying and buying and buying. You see that there's a fresh level on a higher time frame, so maybe for example monthly, if not monthly then weekly. Okay, so you go weekly and then you go daily and you just multi time frame that. You refine and you refine and then you enter, right? That's the highest risk way for you to enter. The second way is, of course, you would pick a zone, wait for a rejection. You have the storyline understanding, or you have the preferred of the also fine method, right? The preferred way is you have a zone, right? It's buying and buying and buying. You have a zone, so you say, okay, in order for me to see a sign that price is going to stop it or sort of have a stop to the bullishness, right, is we're going to look for a rejection, correct? So that's the first thing. And then you look for one of two things. One, you have yourself an early entry, which is not very safe, but it's still better than just refining and selling like that. And the second way is once you get a storyline, so meaning you need a breakout. So I'll give you an example. Weekly over here, weekly reject weekly, and then you head to the daily, and okay, we have ourselves a breakout, right? And then we start looking for like daily areas where we mark out the dailies, we wait for rejections, H4 breakouts. Okay, daily is now in tandem, it's together with the weekly, so now we can start selling from H4s and dailies much more confidently. Okay, so that's the second way. So the first way, as I said, is just refining and selling. It's the best entry that you can get, but it's also the highest risk. And the second way is using storyline, and the third way is once you have a weekly reject weekly, you just immediately look for whether there's a new resistance created, and then you enter off of that. So I'll give you another example of that. So for example, over here you have yourself a daily reject daily, right? So price comes in over here, daily rejected the daily. So in this candle, you're going to look at what happened in this daily. We look at the H4, right? So come over here, we look at the H4, and we're like, oh, okay, what the hell, bro? We look at the H4, we're like, oh, okay, there is a fresh resistance. It's just there's no breakout, right? The breakout is meant to be over here. Nothing of the sort happens. We just have ourselves a new support that's created. That's it, and then we enter from there. So that is an early entry. It is medium risk. It's not high risk. It's medium risk. It works pretty often, not very often, but pretty often. So yeah, those are the 3 main ways. Now let's get into the topic of today's video. How do we understand intraday setup? So first of all, you need to understand something. Write this down in your notes because I'm going to delete it after I finish typing it. So the first thing you need to understand about intraday, okay, is that you'll be dealing mostly with daily time frame. Okay, but be aware of weekly and monthly. So if you were to ask me, Avi, what are the 2 main time frames you would deal with for intraday? I'll say weekly, daily. All right, mostly is daily, but weekly as well, and I'll tell you why. When you understand, first, what I mean by dealing with is you got to understand the storyline. Once you understand the storyline, that's 95% of your work done, or 90% of your work done. It's still a chore to look for entries, but that's 90% of your work done because you understand the direction, you understand where to counter from, you understand where to enter from. Counter and entering from the daily is what I'm trying to say, and you understand, if you understand the video about operation of the time frames, you'll understand how to lower your risk with each of these things. So when I say be aware of weekly and monthly, if there is a monthly storyline, like if you can visually see that there's a monthly storyline, you need to take account of that. You need to take note of that. If there isn't, or it's unclear, or it hasn't happened yet, and I'll give you examples for everything that I'm talking about right now, then if it hasn't happened on the monthly, no problem, it's okay, we'll go to the weekly. Right? So when I say be aware of the weekly, this is what I mean. Okay? And when I say, oh, what if there's nothing on the monthly? So let's assume we have this. Let's just pick one, random. Okay? Let's just assume we have this. This is what? Monthly support, correct? And what do you expect? Oh, monthly come in here, monthly reject monthly, and then you go to the weekly and breakout, whatever. But that takes a long time, and also the breakout is all the way up here. And it hasn't done that. What if you want to take advantage of this? Right? How do you plan for this trade? Okay, so what we can see, we have ourselves a monthly zone. This is a key level. Why is this a key level? What's the meaning of key level? Why is this a key level? It's simply because it is MTF'd. It's a higher time frame. First of all, it's a higher time frame, right? Daily is already HTF. H4, H1 is our entries. But above daily, we have the farther time frames, which are like weekly, monthly, right? Those are like fathers over the daily, okay? And when you have monthlies, weeklies, you know what I mean, that same area, that's gonna be a key level, especially monthly. Key level is usually a term used for monthlies and weeklies, okay? In the same area usually. So we have a monthly key level, okay? Why is it a key level? It's because it also coincides with the weekly, and I'm almost certain that there probably is a daily in here. Maybe we'll check that out. We'll find that out soon. But because we haven't had that weekly, that monthly reject monthly and weekly bullish breakout, because we haven't had that, right? We can't say that there's a monthly bullish storyline. So that's when what I wrote just now, I said, if there isn't a monthly, okay, we look at the weekly, what's happening on the weekly. So what is happening on the weekly? We can see we have ourselves what? Weekly reject weekly, correct? So now we see weekly has rejected the weekly. Now we're in this candle. We're going to look at what happened in the previous week. We go to the daily. What are we trying to look for? Before I go there, what are we trying to look for? We're trying to look for a daily bullish breakout. Let's go do that. Boom, we have ourselves a daily bullish breakout right here, correct? Okay, so what does this mean? This automatically means that we have ourselves a weekly bullish storyline. Okay, it's a weekly bullish storyline. Now, how I like to play intras and why I'm even involving the weekly is very simple. So first thing you need to understand, we don't know the monthly storyline. Second thing you need to understand, we do know the weekly storyline. It's just been confirmed bullish, okay? And why are our entries going to be involving the daily? Because yes, it's weekly bullish storyline, but also because the obstacles are areas that we can try and place trades from. Okay, so I'll tell you something, and I have a whole documentation of this entire journey, right? And I'll show you something. So first thing I like to do is this. I always like to prepare myself with the zones that are going to concern me. So when you're an intraday trader, write this down. Mark zones of concern. Okay, your zones of concern are going to be weekly, daily, fresh. Okay, of course, now when I write this down, of course, if there's a monthly close by, freaking mark that down. Okay, freaking mark that down, because that's probably going to be a key level, and who knows, maybe there's a weekly underneath that. That is definitely a key level. Mark your zones of concern beforehand. So let's go and do that. Okay, first step, right? Let's go and do that. Mark our zones of concern. So we have ourselves a monthly in here. Okay, we have ourselves another monthly in here, buy sell candle, right? And we know it's too big of a zone, right? It's so much that's happening in this wick. And we also know we don't really need to concern ourselves too much with the monthly, but we'd be aware that we're trading inside this monthly right here, okay? Because it hasn't turned monthly bullish yet. So let's go and see what are our zones of concern on the weekly. Maybe there's more clarity, because on the monthly it's just a huge wick. So that means there must have been a lot of price action that happened on the weekly and the daily. Okay, so let's go and see what is happening in there. So one thing we know, we don't have to bother about this open close. Why? Because this open close was created, price came in, wicked, touched it, right? We do need to be aware, keep it at the back of your head, that we do need to just be aware of these guys right here. Okay, be aware of these, mark these out, and like I said, be aware. The whole point is to be aware of these, because you need to understand these are your major points of concern where price probably would turn against you. Even if it's for a split second, you want to be cautious about it, right? Because I'll show you why. So pink is our weekly storyline. This is our weekly, and of course, it so happens to coincide with our daily as well. So weekly MTF daily, weekly MTF daily. This one is just a weekly, but then pay attention to the MTF daily right above. Okay, so all I know is that weekly is bullish, so it's very, very simple. I am going to buy and be careful of what goes on and the reactions that price has to these lines. These lines here are the obstacles, correct? What are these? These are weeklies. Okay. Of course, also pay attention to the dailies that are created along the way. Like this one, see, buy, sell, daily resistance. Pay attention to these. How does this price break through? Does price reject? Right? Things like that. Now, when you're taking trades in this fashion, okay, these are intraday trades, meaning your frequency is going to be higher. You can hold on to price that is to trades that are pro trend. Okay, trades that are pro trend, trades that are with the weekly storyline. So for example, trades like this, right? Trades like this, trades like this. Okay, this one is what is this? This is rejecting here. Okay, you can hold on to these longer, maybe for 100 pips, maybe 200 pips. Even though we're intraday is just 50 to 100 pips. Scalping is 20, 25, 30 pips. That's how I do it, okay? I don't know the definition other people have. For me, scalp is 20, 25, 30 pips. Intraday is 50 to 100 pips, okay? So when I'm in pro trend, maybe I can hold it fully for 100 pips. In fact, I should hold it for a full 100 pips. But if I'm playing counter trend, like in these areas, see this one? in these areas right here, right? Maybe I go in here, I refine. So let's see if I want to play a counter trend real quick, right? This was a daily, right? This is a H4 left shoulder, right? H4 left shoulder. Okay, let's see what's popping on the H1. Hopefully we can go that far. No, we can't. Okay, but you get the point, right? If I'm playing something from here, maybe there's like a H1 left shoulder or something that's refined. Okay, see, this is only 9 pips, this is only 20 pips. So let's say I enter one counter trend over here. I want to go break even quicker. You know, I want to be aware of what's the daily in here, because this is a counter trend, right? If I'm selling in here counter trend, you guys already know how I entered this. I'll cover it later. If I'm entering here counter trend, why? It's because this is a pretty important level. We have ourselves a daily fresh resistance, and we also have a weekly fresh resistance on top of that, and we're in a weekly bullish storyline, which means daily fresh resistances are going to be our areas of concern, and more so if it's MTF to the weekly. Why more so? Because if we're in a weekly bullish storyline, price could probably completely turn to a weekly bearish storyline if price is in a daily, if price is in a weekly, right? So if we have weekly to weekly, right, weekly to weekly, this is the support, this is the resistance, correct? This is the resistance, right? The dailies, yes, dailies may push price down, and who knows, maybe the dailies even may completely reverse price. But the area that's probably going to reverse price, if any, like if you were to ask me, Avi, if we have a weekly bullish storyline, where would the daily be more likely to completely reverse price? Like there's a daily in here, completely reverse price, or would a weekly be more likely to completely reverse price? I'd say the weekly is more likely to completely reverse price. So all the more if there's a weekly and a daily, you know, we want to be more careful of that. Okay, be more perspicacious of it. I love that word so much, bro. Anyway, so yeah, you get the point, right? Now, how do we enter this? So we know we have weekly bullish. So how do we make use of these trades? Very simple. We just play from daily. So what are the obvious dailies that we can see? We have one here, one here, one here, one here. Avi, there's so many. What did I teach you guys in my operation of time frames? Be aware of all these zones, okay? And play the one which has the rejection or reaction, excuse me. The reaction includes the rejection. The reaction may or may not include the breakout. So we have a weekly bullish. Mark that, right? So we're waiting for what? We're waiting for a daily reject daily. Why are we, okay, hold on. Why are we waiting for a daily reject daily? Simple, because we are waiting for either daily reject daily in the early entry, so daily reject daily in H4 support. I'll show you the examples, give me a second. Or we're looking for daily reject daily, H4 bullish breakout, where it's just confirming, it's confirming what? It's confirming daily and weekly are together. And that's how you get huge 200, 300,000 plus moves like that. Okay, so and if you're wondering why this move happened, it's because the weekly had confirmed that the monthly storyline happened. Remember we touched over here and we had that weekly reject weekly, but monthly was also playing from that monthly zone. Yeah, that's why we had the huge thing, because monthly closed and it closed as a monthly bullish storyline, if I'm not wrong, and boom, she popped. That's a bit sus. But yeah, you get the point. So now we have over here weekly bullish storyline. How do we play intra? Well, we have ourselves a bunch of daily zones. Which one is price going to reject from? We had this one. See this one? Buy, sell, resistance. Resistance breaks, becomes a fresh new support. But price isn't rejected. Price just completely breaks through, you see? See this black candle? Just completely breaks through. But there's another one here. There's another one here. Open, close, flip. Left shoulder. This is not a left shoulder. Left shoulder. Apex. Or open close, right? Price comes in here, daily reject daily. Now we're gonna look at what happened in here. Oh no, I've lost it. Do we have the setup? I think early entry. Yes, early entry setup. We have ourselves, yeah, I covered this in the beginning of this video. We have ourselves the early entry setup. So over here was what? Tuesday. This is what? Wednesday. Look at down here. Down here. Tuesday. This is Wednesday. So on Wednesday, you look at Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday, daily reject daily. What did Tuesday give us? Oh, brand new H4. Okay, this is a medium risk entry opportunity. So you'll place your limit there. I don't know if I can go to H1. If you guys have the bot version of this, you can go check it out. Yeah, I can't go there. It's fine. But you go to H1. So you have yourself your H4. You refine it to your H1 if you can. And who knows? Maybe there's a what do you call this thing? Trend line or something like that. Again, I can't really see whether there is. I can't go to the H1 and try and figure out a trend line if there was one. But you guys can go find out. So you're adding confluences to that trade, right? I don't think there's anything on the H4 here that I can visibly see. But anyway, you get the point. That would be your setup. Isn't that the early entry setup? Yes, it is. Okay, so now what do you do? Hold on. What do you do? You've now entered this trade. You've now entered this trade right here. Okay, and let's say 30 pips or stop loss or something like that. So 32 pip stop loss, right? You've entered this trade. You know that at 50 pips, you're going to go break even. For example, I'm just giving you random numbers right now, okay? When I first started out, I always had a 32 to 35 pip stop loss. So I'm telling you, when in the first like few months that I learned this, I had a 30 to 35 pip stop loss, and I had a take profit of 100 pips and a break even of 50 pips. Okay, and I would just play interest, that's it. So I wouldn't even pay too much attention to the monthly, although I should have, and I would just pay most of my attention to the weekly. Okay, and of course, because of the weekly, I will play the dailies, correct? It's very high frequency. So around 50 pips, you go break even. 100 pips, you may take all of your profits, and you're done for the day. One trade a day, one trade per setup. If they give you a setup, okay, you're done. That's it, right? What do I do? How do I plan my trade if price turns against me or something like that? Very, very simple. I am going to go to the daily, and I'm going to see what is the fresh. I have no fresh daily here. See this open close? It's already tapped. I have no fresh daily here as well. See this traditional buy sell. Why? Because this one's tapped. This one tapped here. You see what I'm trying to say, right? Tapped by this, tapped by this. So why did I enter here? Again, weekly bullish trade. Why did I enter exactly at this SNR, right? If you want to look at the line chart, buy sell, boom, break. Why exactly here? Because we had that setup. We had that reaction, which is daily reject daily, and as a result of the daily reject daily, I love this preferred setup. H4 new support, and we enter straight off of that. We set a limit or something like that. We put a little limit. That's what the word. We put a little limit over there and things like that. So because we know that there's no daily over here, no daily over here, everything here is just completely free. We, even though our setup, so if we were to follow the rules of intraday, remember, we are not doing swing. We are not doing this. We are not doing this. We're doing intra, right? But if we were to do swing, we can hold it confidently to, not the weekly, hold it confidently to the next daily. It just so happens to be, that this next daily, this next fresh daily also coincides with the weekly. Just so happens to be. But remember, be very, very important that we are dealing with daily obstacles, daily, big bad daily, right? Why? Because we have a weekly bullish storyline. Fractally, if we were to deal with monthly, we would deal with obstacles one time frame below, so weekly. But we're dealing with weekly storyline because we're dealing with interest. Okay, so yes, that would be it. Now, how do you play the counter then, right? I just told you, how do you play the counter? Well, you can play the counter. So you bought over here. A safe way, a safer way for you to play the counter here would be for you to wait for a daily reject daily. Okay, so you're just playing the daily. So if we had, and I've drawn this so many times now, if we had, right, weekly, obviously resistance, obviously support, and price were to go like this, okay, boom, whatever, price comes up, okay, and boom, 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 all of this stuff, right? You would want to see what the resistance was here. The resistance was here, resistance was here, resistance was here. All of these are dailies, would be dailies, or maybe they're you know, together with weeklies, etc. All of these would be dailies, and all of these would also be dailies, because we're dealing with entries on the daily, we're dealing with obstacles on the daily. Okay, so write this down, draw this out, take a screenshot, whatever. Okay, and of course, pay most of your attention to the daily obstacles that are also together, MTF with weeklies, MTF with monthlies, things like that. It could be a daily MTF with a monthly. You could skip a time frame like that as well, right? Be very cautious of those ones because they are very dangerous and they can give you very big volume against counter trend, against your trend, against your storyline. Okay, so let's assume, okay, we have ourselves daily reject daily over here. Correct. So now we're going to go to like a H4. We would see if there's a little setup. And of course, right? Do you think, let's assume that we risked 0.50 on this. Let's assume that we risked 0.50 on this. Why are we risking 0.50? Let's assume that that's a bigger portion of your account. So you're risking more for this. Why would you risk more? There's logic to it because we're riding with the weekly storyline. So that's why you would want to risk more. Same way, if you were to take a counter, would you risk the same 0.50? Of course not. You would risk less. Whatever, I'm not going to say it's significantly less. For me it is, but for you, whatever it may be. Let's say you set a rule that says if I'm trading pro trend, if I'm trading pro storyline, excuse me, let's not use the word trend here. We're dealing with storyline, fancy smancy, okay? If we're dealing with storylines here, and if I'm trading with the storyline, maybe I risk 0.50 lot size, right? Let's just assume whatever the percentage that is of your account. But if I'm trading counter storyline or taking an intra against it, I'm trading half of that, so 0.25. That could be a little rule that you write in your notebook, and you take it like that. Okay, so over here, it's not even that it's daily reject daily and you're taking a sell. You're just immediately taking a sell as a touch trade. Remember I told you there were 3 types of trades, right? First one is when you just refine and you take a trade immediately. So when you're taking trades like that, you must have that third confluence, which is your trend line, right? So you take something like that. Okay, you have your trend line confluence, things like that. I don't know if this one worked out. Yeah, it did. Well, months and months of trend line practice has made my eyes so good to this. But yeah, buy, sell, that creates a resistance. Buy, sell, that creates the second one, so you connect the 2 points. Go to the line. Anyway, you get the point. So if you want to take like a touch trade like that, you absolutely can. But yeah, be mindful of your risk and add a trend line in there to add more confluence to the entire thing. Maybe you want to add a time window. What do you call it? Kill zone. Maybe you want to add an ICT kill zone. If you guys don't know what a kill zone is, go to YouTube and type Inner Circle Trader. You have London opens, you have London closes, you have the overlap between London and New York. You have New York open, you have New York close, things like that. Those are all times. These are all confluences that you can add to a very risky trade, because this is a risky trade inherently, but then you can add a trend line to it, you can add time windows to it, kill zones to it, things like that. Okay, so when you take this trade, let's assume you've entered this one, you've already cashed out 100 pips. Let's say now you took this trade, right? Let's just assume it for whatever reason you've taken this trade, because it's a counter. That's the reason, right? Maybe you want to break even quicker. Maybe you want to take your profit quicker. So for example, instead of taking your profits like a pro storyline, you take it at 100 pips. Maybe this time you want to take it at 50 pips, right? Maybe you don't even break even. You just set your TP at 50 pips, or maybe you break even at 20 pips, break even at 25 pips. Right, and then you set your TP for 50 pips, because you have to understand you're going against things. You're going against it, right? So that's the first thing, is to be mindful of your risk when you're taking a counter trade. And second thing is to be mindful of something very, very important, which is what the next zone is going to be. This is the key to my, I don't want to speak about myself like, oh, I'm successful, blah, blah. No, but I am always I'm either one step ahead or I'm on par with what's happening. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's like a chess match. I know that we're weekly bullish. I know the possibilities of price. I know that price is probably going to react here first before potentially dipping down completely and taking these guys. In which case, if we go up, there's a reaction here, boom, go up, and here, the reason why he fell, the reason why this one fell, there's probably going to be a counter trade opportunity there. I am like 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of the entire game, and you have to be. So when you've taken this trade here, you have to be mindful, oh, there's an open close here, there's an open close here. Again, no, I'll cover this for a different video. Hold on. This is very simple, very, very subjective, but very simple. Requires pattern recognition. This will be something else we talk about. I'm not going to cover it in this video. Anyway, moving on. So if you take this entry over here, let's say 25, 50 pips, correct? 25, 50 pips, all right? Be mindful of these zones. So when I look at these 3 zones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of these, my eyes completely ignore all of these. My eyes just completely go to maybe this one and these 2. Okay, my mind and my eyes completely ignore these. All right, and I'll kind of touch about it in a different video. Don't worry, it's fine. I'm not trying to gatekeep anything. But yeah, so we have this here. We're weekly bullish. So what's the first way you can enter? You can just go straight, right? Daily, open, close, go to the H4. Oh, I'm getting lost, man. H4. See what's up with that. Okay, so what do we have on the H4? We have ourselves a H4 left shoulder. We can have a little refinement. I don't think we can go to the H1 because last time it didn't allow us to anyway. But yeah, we can have a H4. Maybe there's a H1 in here or something like that. If it's not clear, it's just not clear in it. Like, what are you trying to, what are you trying to prove? But anyway, add your little trend line in here. Hold on, let me make that clear so you guys know I'm not cheating. Okay, see, that trend line didn't even go in, so you guys can see, right? So if it's not clear, it's just not clear. It is what it is, But over here, you can see that we had ourselves the daily zone, the price gets tapped into. Over here, what did we react from? We just missed this, I think. Did we miss this? Oh no, we tapped it. No, we just missed it. Again, it is what it is. But yeah, we just missed this one. Over here, no, obviously broke. So daily over here. But yeah, so this one, what it rejected from was from the daily. Okay, and then we go and take a look at what are we going to take a look at? So if you were to mark this out. Let's say you took the entry here or you missed the entry. Daily reject daily. This next candle, we're going to look at what happened on the H4. We see, break. Okay, and you know, we're just waiting for like reactions over here, but price hits up. Now when price hits up like this is something again that comes with experience. You want to see where it's hitting up to. It can be dangerous, right? Wherever it's hitting up to, we want to pay attention to that. We really do. So we pay attention to it. So over here, you can see that there's a bunch of stuff. We have open closes, we have open close flips. We have ourselves left shoulders, right? Price didn't even react to any of these. Price just completely fell. Maybe it's a broker thing. I don't know. I'm not going to simply say anything, but maybe it is a broker thing. Now, all of this, right in here. So price came in here. That's what it was. See? So on the higher time frame, you're checking. Whenever price moves more than 100 pips, check where it's moving into. It's probably going to worry you. It's probably worrisome. So price is right now, it's in a daily and it's inside the weekly. So you can expect pullbacks. When price moves big, you can expect it's going to go into a higher time frame zone. Once it goes into a higher time frame zone, it's going to do one of two things. Obviously, it's going to break or it's going to pull back. In this case, it pulls back. Okay? Now, when it pulls back, let's see if there was a weekly reject weekly anywhere. Just want to see that. No weekly reject weekly. Okay, cool. No worries. But as I said, when you're in a higher time frame zone, you can expect those pullbacks. Even though it hadn't even rejected yet, you can expect those pullbacks. So what are the points of interest that I'm going to be paying attention to? I'm going to be paying attention to this guy, obviously in here too. Sure, why not? I'm going to be paying attention to this guy, right? And again, now, right, when I have a bunch of these dailies, what am I going to do? I'm going to go and look at whether there's a weekly I can jumble them all up into. Is there a weekly that I can jumble them up into? Okay, and I see I've marked a bunch of these, right? So okay, we're gonna leave that in there. This was my first entry, right? All of that stuff. Here was an open close. Price came in already and tapped that. Here was another open close. Price comes in from the top over here. Even though it broke, price, as I said, you can expect rejections from there. Where are areas that we can look into? The only other fresh area is these two. Excuse me. These are the only two other fresh areas. Open, close, apex. These are the only other two areas. Yes, we do also have dailies for sure, right? But these are the only two other fresh areas. So again, when you have a perfectly fresh weekly over here and you have a bunch of dailies above, you can absolutely enter in here and you can see we have rejection. So there's a daily. Maybe we go to the H4, right? And we're taking a look. Okay, what's popping up in there? You know, like what's happening in there, kind of thing. So you can see over here we rejected from here. We have something at the bottom here. These two areas, one here, one here. Oh, look, it's rejecting. It's beautiful. All of these things. Right? So let's assume that. Let's just take that for an example. This is a daily support, guys. Pay attention with me. This is a daily support, an area that we want to look and see whether we can enter anything from. And we do in fact observe that, oh, okay, we can enter something from here. We can enter something from here, right? Let's go and see how that looks like on the daily, just to show you guys something. It's inside the daily. Price comes in. So let's assume price is like this. Price is like this right now, right? This is a daily. These two are dailies, right? This one's already tested. There's a daily, there's a daily, there's a daily, right? So we can take a touch trade, right? Or we can wait for price to come in and reject this. And if we were to wait, if we were to take the safe opportunity and wait for price to come in and reject and then see the next day, we will see, oh, damn, that's not a very good sign. That's not a very good sign at all, because price is completely broken that support. So price will retrace, trap in some more of the buyers, and oh, look where it's retracing into. A daily resistance, which is what? The daily resistance is what, guys? It is a counter to our weekly sell. You see, so that will be another opportunity we can take. Okay, so in here we could take the buy, here we could take the sell. Okay, price comes down. Over here is your only other fresh opportunity. So I'm going to delete some of these lines, guys. We've already talked about this. I'm just trying to give you guys examples. This is your daily. Okay, so when you go to the daily, as I said, you can refine. Take an entry from here. For example, just giving you an example, price comes back up into the daily. Into the daily, you can refine, right? Maybe look for a little trend line, look for something like that, Okay, we have ourselves a resistance. Okay, another resistance. Okay, maybe you want to look for a trend line. I don't know. Is there a trend line or something like that we can use? Maybe something here. Okay, let me not cheat you guys. Let me see whether I'm actually accurate with it. Yes, I am. Holy, your boy still got it. Okay, but yeah, I don't really use trend lines anymore, to be very frank with you guys. But yeah, so everyone, you can enter over here. You can see what's happening on the H1, right? I don't know if we can go that low. See what's happening on the H1. And yeah, so basically that's what I'm trying to say. Things like that you can do. Let's see, we can actually go to the H1 just to show you guys an example. Oh, we can. Nice, beautiful. See, well, we barely can. I don't know if this actually constitutes as anything. No, it doesn't count as anything. No problems. So when you're like this, or when you haven't actually seen the price happening, you want to find a trend line that sort of lines up with the zone. So let me go here, H4. Let me show you what I mean. You want to find a trend line that lines up roughly in a similar location with the zone itself. So like this one, right, that I just picked off. God damn, what the? Okay, right. Just sort of want to point that in. Okay, see if it matches roughly with the zone, because sometimes price would wick it. See, price would wick it, so you know, oh, okay, this is a pretty good zone then. Cool, interesting to know, right, that the trend line also lines up there. So let's say you enter there, and you know this daily has already been tested. You see this daily right here, it's not been tested, it's been broken. What am I saying? It's been completely broken. So you know, if you enter in over here, the next area you want to pay attention to would be this, right? Would be this. It doesn't look very good, but yes, over this price comes in down, you pay attention to this one, see if there's a rejection. So you see there's a rejection here, so you go and check that out. Oh, okay, next day you see what's happening with this rejection. What is it showing up, right? And you can see it's already giving you a sign. This is the next day, by the way, guys. This is what happened on the day of the rejection. So when price rejected our line over here, daily reject daily, it created a support, but on that same day itself, it came in and tested it. So the next day, how can it be fresh? It's because it's already tested. How can it be possibly fresh? So, and then of course you have yourself the infamous higher time frame, because higher time frame always wins, my friends. Higher time frame. That's right below that, and you have to understand. It's right here. Sorry, you have to understand. This is a daily reject daily, H4 bearish breakout, if I'm not wrong. See, the breakout happened right here. This is your daily reject daily. This is the traditional SNR that caused this spike, and it broke out. See how price rejects from the open close, the open close right here, and this is on the H4 because daily bearish storyline, right? So what do you think counters this daily bearish storyline? Don't think of it like that. Think about what is the storyline on the weekly, because we're dealing with the weekly, right? We're entering dailies, buys and sells, but we're dealing with the weekly. Okay, so we're dealing with the weekly, and there's no weekly bearish storyline that has started yet. Am I wrong? Let's see if I'm wrong. Right? We're here, by the way, if you're wondering. We're not here yet. We're here. See, there's no weekly reject weekly. This is a break already. Look, don't believe me, look. See, there's a break right there. Okay, so there's no weekly bearish yet. It's just that it's just rejected from the daily. It's just reacted from the daily, and it's come down and it's filled up these orders over here on the weekly, right? And so yeah, pretty much that was that. So from the weekly, you could refine it, I'm sure, to something around here, right? And even you could just take it from here. You could just take it from here. This is a fresh daily reject daily, and you're just waiting for that H4 breakout, right? So from here, actually, there's a weekly setup. There is actually a weekly setup. So from this, if you were to take a weekly reject weekly, be flexible. Weekly reject weekly, you hit the daily, and you want to see, okay, weekly reject weekly. There is no daily breakout yet. It happened later, but there is no weekly. There's no daily bullish breakout yet, but it did form what? It did form a daily support. You see, it did form a daily support, and then from there you can just go and refine stuff out. You know, you can see that there's a resistance break becomes support. You can see that this is not a left shoulder. This is the left shoulder, right? Look, if you're confused, pull up the line chart. Oh wait, it does. Oh wait, no. What I meant by left shoulder is that the body break. The body didn't break. That's what I meant. Gosh, see this body? It's meant to come and break. That's how it makes a left shoulder. See, like this one. See this one. This is the thing, and see how the body breaks, right? It's not wicked through, right? See, like this isn't a left shoulder to this. It's not, because it's just wicked through. So I hope you guys understood that. That was a blunder on my part. This is not a left shoulder. Why? Because just wick through. It needs the body break, but this one is though, right? If you look at this, sell, buy, so it's done something like that. Boom. Okay, come up, and it's done that, and it's gone up. So yeah, that would be it. Down here, you know, things like that. And you know, look at the H1s for some trend lines. I think you could maybe pull something off over here perhaps. Yeah, absolutely, look at that one. Yeah, once you get good with trend lines, you're gonna see these everywhere. They're just gonna coincide beautifully, and that's gonna be a great trade for you to take. Okay, so what was this setup over here? You need to understand this. Even though this has nothing to do with intraday yet, you have to understand the setup, right? We have ourselves what? A weekly zone. Price comes in, weekly reject weekly. The following week we go and see, oh, what happened as a result of that weekly reject weekly? We have ourselves a daily support created. Cool. Inside this daily support, can I take a touch trade instantaneously? Right? Can I take a touch trade? We see. Oh, okay, we have ourselves an SBR. That's not a refinement of the daily, unless it is. We will have to check that out. But mark the daily first. So see, go mark the daily first. See, we've marked the daily first. Then from the daily, see what is at the daily or below. This is the second video that I've uploaded. MTF, how to properly define MTF. This is the daily. Why would you mark the resistance break becomes support? That's above. What is refined from there? There's only two zones on the H4 that are refined from there. And those two zones are the left shoulder. This is not a left shoulder. The left shoulder and the apex. These are the only two zones. When we mark both of them, we realize that, oh, the left shoulder is also together with this H4 trend line, and also, I saw this just now when flipping time frames, and also with this daily right here. Very perfect, very beautiful. Just like that. See how this guy comes in and touches it. So, okay, cool. And then we ride that train just like that. And then this becomes another daily reject daily. So we can take a look at some H4s. Okay, so how would we do that? We'd see daily reject daily, and then we would want to mark out, okay, what's the next daily that we want to pay attention to? The next daily that we want to pay attention to obviously be this one, and obviously be this one. I should mark them with lines. Obviously these two. Okay, and we see over here what? Daily reject daily, right? And we're going to look for a breakout after that. See, this is during the first day. Daily comes in. Maybe you already enter it like I showed you. I already have. I have done this. I have a screenshot of this for proof as well, right? And then price goes up, okay? And then you're just going to play in the direction of that daily. We have a weekly reject weekly. We have ourselves, we've yet to have a daily reject daily, but we already have a daily bullish storyline if you were to pay attention to this. So although we don't have the daily breakout to confirm yet, although we don't yet have the daily breakout to confirm the weekly, we already have, this is the operation of time frames, right? We already have the daily reject the daily, this zone right here. See where my crosshair is at? This zone right here. This is within the, down a bit more, there we go. This is within the weekly. Okay, because we haven't had the weekly yet, do a weekly reject weekly and daily breakout. We've had just the weekly reject weekly part, but within the weekly it's MTF'd with this daily open close flip, and so we can take a daily bullish storyline in anticipation of the weekly bullish storyline, which anyway there's a weekly bullish storyline because this sell never actually came from a weekly storyline change from bullish to bearish. So that sounds super confusing, but go back and read it. The entire storyline never changed from this point, right? Weekly reject weekly, it never changed from bullish to bearish. This sell was never a weekly bearish storyline change, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so yeah, all you're dealing with is just daily reject daily, H4, H4, H4. That's it. Why H4? Because you're trying to confirm the daily bullish storyline. That's it, man. So this daily rejected this daily over here. We've already talked about the H4 breakout that occurred. So if you don't believe me, go and look. H4 breakout here. This is the SNR that formed the low. It's a bit of a funny low, but it formed the low right there. So now we're just playing from the H4s, man. That's it. And we're playing it from the H4s up until this one didn't actually reach. Fair enough, it is what it is. Nothing's perfect until we reach the next daily. Okay, and then we're gonna, oh, okay, we gotta observe things. We gotta observe things, you know, things like that, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And you can see how when this candle right here, right, cross this open close, even cross this one, you can see when price comes back, it rejects. When price comes back, it rejects because it wants to go up. Why does it want to go up? Because we have ourselves a daily bullish. We have ourselves a weekly bullish. So from the daily, you're going to see these huge reactions. You're going to see these huge, things to deal with, right? Where price suddenly comes in with that volume for the buy from, it could be from any one of these dailies, So in this case, what would you do? Simple. You just simply wait for a daily reject daily. So price comes in here. This daily candle rejects this one, okay? And the next day, we're going to look for what happened as a result, okay? See what happened as a result of that daily reject daily. First of all, you can already have the entry. Why can you already have the entry? Because of this. Remember guys, weekly never changed from bullish to bearish. From this moment when weekly started, right? From this moment that weekly started. It never became bearish yet. It hasn't yet. Never. Not once. The daily has turned bearish. Yes, I agree. But it's never once turned from bullish to bearish. It's always been bullish. The reason I marked this and showed you guys this on the weekly is because I want to show you guys, as I said, if there's a daily coinciding with a weekly or a daily with a monthly or a weekly with a monthly, anything with a higher time frame than it, pay most of your attention to that. The reason I showed you guys this on the weekly is because we had a bunch of dailies in here, but then there was only just this one daily that was together with the weekly support. None of these dailies came together with the weekly. Now that should have cleared up everything for you guys. If it didn't, go and watch this video again. I can't explain it any better. I'm sorry. So how would you enter this one? Well, first thing, you could mark this out and refine it in here. Is there anything on the H4? So you go to the H4. Okay. You want to take a touch trade, remember? Because your daily's bullish. You have nothing to worry about. Your daily's bullish, right? You have yourselves the H4, a H4 flip. Together with the daily, we have ourselves a fresh resistance becomes support. We have ourselves an open close. We have ourselves a apex. So you would want to mark any one of these guys, for example, right about here. And then you want to see, oh, okay, what's the trend line that I want to use? See which one coincides best. Which one, not coincides, I'm using the word stupidly. Which one aligns best? That's a much better word to use, right? And then you'd see, oh, okay, we can take something like that. Boom. Right? Okay, let me not cheat you guys. Let me show you it's actually on the point. There you go. There you go. See how this trend line here lines up beautifully with this? This is months and months of practice, by the way. Every trade was taken with the confluence of a trend line. That's why I can just look and go, oh, it's that one. You know what I mean? But yeah, this one was easy though, right? Sell, buy, support, that's your 2 points. You connect them, and this lines up beautifully with this. You have to understand, both of these zones wouldn't work without this daily. And the reason why this daily works is because we're in a weekly bullish storyline, meaning daily is the significant zone. So you take that. But let's assume you missed this. Let's assume you've missed this one, right? So we've covered like, I don't know how many entries, right? And of course, same thing, man. Your stop loss is going to be 30 to 35 pips when I first started out. Your take profit would be 100 pips because you're intraday. Your break even could be 50 pips. That was how I started out. You don't need to follow me, but that was how I started out. So after this daily rejected this daily. Okay, after this daily rejected this daily. Maybe you missed that entry. Maybe you did take it, but you want to stack some more. After that, the next day you look, oh, look at that. We've created a H4 new support. Remember, I told you there's the preferred way, which is daily reject daily, and you can enter based on H4 bullish breakout to confirm the storyline. But if that hasn't happened yet, the next best thing you can do if you really want to enter, you have itchy fingers, is daily reject daily or H4 new support. That's an early entry you can make. Of course, refine it to the H1. I can't go to the H1 unfortunately, but refine it to the H1. Let's see if we can go H1. Yes, I can. Cool. All right. Okay, in this case, there's just absolutely nothing on the H1. This is a sell buy, but it's already been tested. So what's the next best thing? It's just rely on the H4. That's it. Nothing else you can do there. Okay, according to these rules, of course. And once you enter here, 50 pips break even, 100 pips take profit, pay attention to the next area for you to worry about. Now, the next area is probably going to be around this. So once you've entered here, how many pips would that be? That will already be about 80 pips, 85 pips. So you're already risk-free. You don't have to worry about this open close because it's been tested. You don't have to worry about this traditional SNR because it's already been tested. You didn't have to worry about this previously either because it's already been tested. So this is your only area that you want to pay attention to, right? And anyway, you're risk-free at 50 pips, so you're chilling. So once price has reached this area right here, once price has already reached 50 pips, you're already risk-free, so who cares? You know what I mean? Maybe you're a scalper, you're risk-free at 20, 25 pips or less than that. Who knows? Whatever the case may be. Then you're going to be worried about, okay, what's the next best thing is up in here. You see, and price comes in here, You can take a touch trade if you wish to. You can look for daily reject daily, right? So in here, your touch trade would have been daily refined to H4, H4 refined to H1. There's no way this is going to allow me to look at H1. So yeah, H4 refined to H1. Go and look, is there any kind of, what do you call this thing? Trend line that you could spot. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Maybe then you just completely ignore the trade. I'm trying to look for one actually while I'm speaking to you guys right now. I don't think there is one. Doesn't look to be anything at all. No, I don't think there is one, man. I could be missing something, but no, that's not gonna allow it. This. So I'm trying to find a line that coincides with the zone. I don't think that meets up. No, it doesn't. Just yeah, it doesn't at all meet up. It's fine because it's a high risk trade anyway. We're going completely against the trend or against the storyline. So what you could do instead then is do this. Okay, there's a daily over here, right? Daily reject daily, and see, daily reject daily. The next day you go and see what's happening there. So daily reject daily, if we were to move it right here, daily reject daily, the next day gave us a daily resistance. Okay, and from this daily resistance, we can go ahead and take a look at what's happening inside. Okay, and from here, what can we see? We have ourselves an open close, we have ourselves a left shoulder, right? And we also have an apex, so you probably want to play with both of these zones. Hit your H1, I'm sure this will allow us because it's most recent. Yeah. Hit your H1, right? You have that. You can extend it to this H1 left shoulder, but most likely this one, right? It's a daily MTF H4. What's the H4? The H4 is this. Open close. Daily MTF H4, MTF H1. And that's about it, man. I mean, there's nothing else to leave behind about it. I don't think there's any trend. Oh no, there is. I'm blind. It's right there. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. There we go. And yeah, that's it. Something like that. And again, trendline's just a confluence, bro. That's it. And we got it, bro. That's pretty much it. So once you've entered, if you're wondering, the trend line doesn't have to be exactly there. You just want it to be in that area. And so you'd be risk-free right here, for example. I'm not telling you how to do things, by the way. And then you take your full profit at 100 pips and you're completely done for the day, right? And you see, when price does this, where does price react from? Sometimes it's out of thin air, but more than likely it's not out of thin air. Okay, so we entered from here for the counter, right? And this is daily storyline bearish, so we can maybe hold for longer. And then price just comes back and lands in this buy, sell, resistance breaks, never been tested after the break until this candle, and we come in right there. So if you want to look for an entry over there, again, we're still weekly bullish, by the way, still weekly bullish. We can go, oh, okay, daily to H4, right? Daily to H4, okay, perfectly allowable, by the way, all of this perfectly fine. And go to H1 and see if there's anything in there that we can pick up on. Right? Maybe you want to refine it to here, or just be happy with taking this one as a touch trade, right? You would take this and it would go 50 pips, you're risk free, 100 pips, you're completely done, right? And then what you want to wait for is whether there's a daily reject daily of this zone, right? So is there a daily reject daily? Price comes in, daily reject daily, okay. Go and look at the next day. What happened there? So this is me back testing with you guys. I'm literally back testing my trades. The difference is that I've actually taken these trades. So anyway, once we had the daily reject daily, right? What did we create? We created a support. And in this case, realistically, I don't think you would have been awake for this. But on the day that the candle opened, or on the next day, on the very next day, the first 4 hours, price just came down and tapped into it, right? If you wanted to take a refined entry, you could go from H4 to H1. Absolutely can do this, by the way. Nothing wrong with this whatsoever. You can 100% do this, and you would have gotten yourself another opportunity in here. But I think you would have been stopped out. I think maybe I would have been stopped out too. Who knows? No, you wouldn't have. You would have been perfectly fine if you have yourself a 30 pip stop loss. You're right here. So rinse and repeat. 50, 100 pips. Again, always paying attention to where your next point of worry could be. That would be in here, not this, not the traditional, because it's been tested. Right here, you want to pay attention, see how price closed. Oh, it broke it. price breaks this, what are your two other areas you can look for? Boom right there, boom right there. And then by this point, you know, you still need to be worried because this is not only a daily, this is also a weekly, you know. So you can expect, okay, maybe, you know, be a bit careful. Maybe I should, if it's coming to the end of the week, maybe you should beware. Watch out for the weekly close, right? If it's coming, like, let's say this was like Friday or something, I don't know, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, probably because we're already in that weekly resistance, probably wait. That's probably your best bet. You should probably wait, okay? And then after that, you know, we have ourselves this daily in here. This daily again is MTF'd with the weekly down in here, and then you just wait and you just play this. The reason why we had such a big rejection is because this two dailies are together with the weekly. But anyway, so you could have taken an entry like this. So daily, you want to go to the H4, daily, go to the H4, and then you have yourself a flip zone right here. You have yourself one at the top. There's a bunch of zones in here. So if you have a bunch of zones, remember what I told you, you should probably wait for that daily reject daily, right? But let's assume that you took this one, you know. There we go. Let's assume you got this. Let's assume you got this. So all valid zones. And again, if you're ever in doubt, wait it out. That's what I say. And yeah, I think there should be a trend line for this one. Either one of these two. Yeah, there we go. Beauty, man. Beauty and the Beast. Guess which one I am. Okay. Look. Just like that. Matches up with this one. Oh, okay, so we can choose the top one because it's a high risk, so you want to be very careful with it. Okay, we can use the top one. By the way, just a little tip. If you guys are wondering, Avi, did you actually take this? I freaking did, and I'm very great. I'm very proud of it. Of course, I'm grateful, but I'm also very proud of it. I did take this one, and then of course, I waited for the daily reject daily, and see, and for me to see what else I could take. Wait, hold on. I got jujitsu soon. It's 6. I gotta leave in like 30 minutes. All right. So once the daily rejected the daily, I'll go and see on this candle is when the daily starts, by the way. Whenever you see me mark this is the exact day it starts. If you look closely, you can see period separators too. So in the previous day, I entered here, daily reject daily. Guess what it created? A brand new resistance. Go and delete this. Following day, just snip it just from there. There she goes. Now again, I gotta be worried. Again, I don't have to be too worried about this open close once you understand this video right here. But anyway, yeah, you'd be worried about this, you know. After that, just wait for the freaking candle to close, bro. So probably starting a new storyline, something like that maybe. Oh, okay, it didn't, but yeah. So you pay attention there, pay attention to your weekly, see what else is fresh, you know, see if it created some random new monthly, things like that. Hope you guys enjoyed this little back test and session of me talking about how to plan your intraday trades. The exact same thing is to be said about swings. It's just one time frame above, so I may even skip on that. I may just go with it. I don't know. I will create a simplified version of this video for you guys. So yeah, keep an eye for that one. Anyway, see you guys, man. Peace out.